Hello, my name is Erin Gless, and I'm the Executive Director for the Pacific Whale Watch Association. Today, I'm going to be talking about Salish Sea Sentinels, how professional whale watchers help whales through protective interventions. The Pacific Whale Watch Association, or PWWA for short, is a community of ecotourism professionals with a shared commitment to education, conservation, and responsible wildlife viewing throughout Washington State and British Columbia. There are currently 29 member companies in the PWWA, departing from 24 locations throughout the Salish Sea region. Since 2018, the PWWA has used the private PWWA app developed by Johannes Krieger to record wildlife sightings and communicate internally within our fleet. The Sentinel action feature was added for the 2021 season to help document the protective interventions we perform on a daily basis. Some examples of Sentinel actions include stopping other vessels that are operating unsafely around whales, proactively warning other vessels of whales in the area, removing harmful debris such as balloons or derelict fishing gear, and reporting entanglements or other injuries to authorities. During the 2021 season, PWWA operators were able to document 874 Sentinel actions. 53% of those were reactive interventions, contacting vessels in the moment to let them know that they were too fast or too close to whales. A third of Sentinel actions were proactive interventions, which involved contacting vessels in advance to let them know that whales were nearby. 13% of Sentinel actions involved debris removal, and 1% were categorized as other. Last year, all 7 of the other Sentinel actions did involve contacting authorities about entangled or potentially injured animals. If you look at the Sentinel actions performed by month, you'll notice a fairly standard bell curve. This is to be expected as during the spring, summer, and early fall months when the weather is best here in the Salish Sea. Those are the months that we have the most PWWA operators on the water to perform Sentinel actions. It's also the months that you'd be most likely to encounter other types of vessels on the water that would need to be contacted about whales. If you look at the types of vessels contacted, you'll see that recreational vessels did make up the majority of Sentinel actions with 72%, followed by ferries and water taxis with 14%, and large commercial traffic such as tankers and shipping vessels with 9% of Sentinel actions. Our operators are also asked to document whether or not there was a noticeable change in behavior resulting from their Sentinel action. And fortunately, in at least 70% of documented Sentinel actions, there was an obvious positive change in behavior. There were also 9% of Sentinel actions with an unknown result. This usually happens when an operator has to leave the scene before the vessel that they contacted actually does get near the whales. So it is possible that even more than 70% of Sentinel actions had a positive outcome. And this is very important because law enforcement cannot be everywhere at once. This is a huge geographic location, and there are often multiple groups of whales in the area. During the 2021 season, our operators documented law enforcement as being present with whales less than 3% of the time. Law enforcement was most likely to be present during the peak summer months, and was also most likely to be present with resident killer whales. Law enforcement was less likely to be present with bigs or transient killer whales, and was least likely to be present with the region's baleen species, such as humpbacks, grays, or minke whales. What this tells us is that professional whale watchers are often the whale's only line of defense when it comes to improving the boating behavior of others in the absence of law enforcement. It also tells us that public outreach, especially to the recreational boating community, must be a priority. And moving forward, we do encourage even more collaboration between law enforcement, boater education groups, and our operators to coordinate efforts on the water on both sides of the border. If you're interested in reading our full 2021 Sightings and Sentinel Actions report, it is available in full on our website, www.pacificwhalewatchassociation.com. Thank you.